The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this hosting platform or any associated entities.
We're putting the band back together.
Forget it. No way. We're on a mission from God.
Welcome to After Dark with Jamie and Clint, a podcast where our hosts examine questions about the Christian faith. Questions that are not easy to ask and even harder to answer. No topic is off limits. Contents of this podcast may cause you to rethink long-held beliefs. Listener discretion is advised. And now, here's Jamie and Clint.
Thank you there, Roy. I appreciate the intro. This is After Dark with Jamie and Clint. I'm Clint. He's Jamie. Still Jamie. And how you been this week?
Ooh, man, that's been a good one.
Been a good
Been a good one. But it's actually been better than the last month and a half. I'll say that. I'm blessed. How about you?
Yeah. I have, this past week, I've spent some time in the recording studio.
What you been recording?
Just covers, of just 80s and some Van Halen. Oh no, I can't get up that like especially like the Dave Eddie Roth, I can't do it. But hey, Delroy, queued up back there is play like 30 seconds of Promise.
Just let me plug my ears first.
Oh, shut up. Just play it.
So raise your temper, you know what to do. I'm gonna always be there. Sometimes if I shout, it's not what's intended. These words just come out with no cross to bear. I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right.
For the food, that is Bob Boyce. That's not audition.
I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you.
That took me back to like a Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good music in that.
Oh yeah, it's classic. That's my style of music too. What do you call that? Because I was looking some stuff up trying to get a playlist together. There was a modern English. Yeah, now stop the word.
Yeah.
What is that genre? Like a punk fusion pop, something from that?
I'm sure they have like, I don't know, just 80s synths, maybe.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
80s make good music.
Yeah, it really did. That's and if you want to know, that is when in Rome, The Promise, they're on the hit. No.
Yeah, a lot of them had one hit.
Yeah. Spandau Ballet, True, one hit wonder. I think it was the biggest. What was it wonder?
Oh, I can't remember this group. And I heard this song. Actually, it's a song I never even heard until a couple of years ago. What was that song? I Miss the Rain in Summertime.
Miss the Rain or something.
Yeah, let me. I gotta look it up. Let's see. Miss the rain in the summertime.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. The only rain that I know is what is it? Africa by Toto.
Yeah, I remember them. The Alarm.
No, I didn't.
Yep, from Wales, one hit wonder. Interesting fact. I need to get this and show you. Maybe put it up in the studio or something. But I've got the Toto album. I think it was Africa, but the one that Africa's at least on. Yeah. I've got that, and it's signed by a couple of the members.
Oh, really?
Somebody gave it to me as a gift.
Wow.
Like this lady friend back in the day.
Yeah.
Went to college with one of maybe the drummer or keyboardist, the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything for it, but it's cool to have. Yeah. I love it though, man. The 80s. If I could go back in time, it'd be in my 20s and 30s and the 80s, man. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
You probably were.
Oh, shoot.
I was beta. I don't know, man.
It was, Dexy's Midnight Runners. They're another one hit wonder. Their song, Come On Eileen.
I hate that song.
You hate that song?
Julia loves it. because she loves old stuff.
Yeah.
I hate this. That's so annoying.
Oh my God.
think so?
All three of my girls.
Come on, I
We always dance to that song. Really, three. We have a dance. The three of us. My bad, four of us. Four of us. Yeah. But we're in a circle holding. We go in, go out, and anyway, there's a whole deal to. And we did that dance routine at all three of the girls' weddings. And at the reception.
I'll pay more attention this time.
Yeah. But the thing is a friend of mine came to me, he's one of the weddings, and said, you dance with your. I said, I raised my girls on that song. I mean, they were little. They were just knee high, and I'm having to bend down, try to hold. I said, we their entire lives. That's what daddy and daughters dance to. That's what. And he said, that is a very dirty song. I said, well, they don't know no lyrics.
I've never read the lyrics or paid attention. Now you got me. Tonight I'll be in bed. I'll probably text you like, dude.
Oh yeah, it's a very dirty song.
A lot of songs like that back in the day were like that because they couldn't be so explicit.
Yeah.
But I will say, as much as it's probably a bad thing, they actually had to be creative.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to be.
No, you just.
I like hip hop, and back in the day, they had to be creative.
Yeah.
Not now.
Yeah, it's there's songs that that do. Well, there's not really dirty, but there's the name of the song skips me, but
Like a Virgin.
No, it was he goes do 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 do. It's a really happy, upbeat, gosh.
Know the chorus or anything, or any of the words?
Semi-conscious.
Yeah. Third Eye Blind. I love that.
Yeah.
Semi-charm kind of line.
Thank you.
And it's about
It's actually,
crystal meth addiction.
yeah.
It's bad one.
It's a bad one.
It's a really bad.
But the beat and the music always is say what do. And here's another one. The Police. Every Breath You Take. When we were growing up, we were teenagers in the 80s. Yeah, you call on the radio station. I'd like to dedicate this song to my girlfriend.
Yeah. That's second you could do that.
Yeah.
And it's about
It's about a stalker.
if you breath, don't say
I'll be watching you.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's really about a stalker. And we're like, this is a love song. Yeah, dedicate this to my girlfriend.
I've actually what do you do? I'm just watching you green.
Yeah.
And then you're ruining my childhood, man. Thanks.
Chris DeBerg, another one hit wonder. He sings on Lady in Red.
Lady in Red
is
dancing with me.
Cheek to cheek. Nobody here.
Yeah.
Just you and me.
It's my crooner friend right
That's
here.
where I want to be. What? Well, anyway, that's actually a true story. Chris DeBerg, it was his anniversary, and so he and his wife had made plans for that evening, and I think it was like it was a milestone.
Yeah.
Like 10th anniversary, or something like that, or 15th, I don't know, but it was a milestone. Yeah. So they were, they were going to really go out for it, so they were going to meet, they were going to meet at in the bar of this restaurant, particular restaurant. And, then they'll get they have reservations. So and so he was going to come straight from work. And she was coming straight from wherever, but anyway, so she spent the day getting all dolled up. She went and had highlights put into her hair. She went to a stylist and had her hair styled, and she went to had her makeup done from a professional. She bought this red spaghetti strap cocktail dress.
Yeah.
And,
She went all out, huh?
yeah, she went all out, right? And she got there before he did. And so when he got there, he walks in, he's looking around for her, and he doesn't see her. But there was a woman standing, and there's like 2 or 3 guys just, just, oh, and every breath you take, yeah. It's like, and so he's still looking around for, but then she turns around, and when she turns around, he realizes it's his wife, and he's like, holy moly, he's just like, wow, and it was like, as he said it was like he was seeing her for the very first time. Like,
wow.
And he realized, and there's a line in the song, he says, I hardly know this beauty by my side. And it was like he's like, she transformed, and and it was like he saw her for the first time, and he felt like, oh my gosh, have I just been taking her for granted?
Yeah.
And so they're dancing and all this, but so that moment is he went back that night on their anniversary night. She went with him, went back to the recording studio, and he wrote Lady in Red.
Wow.
And that was his hit. But it's beautiful. But it's a true story.
And I bet he was like, you know what? I've never noticed you like this before in this life. Because you always wearing like the moo-moo and got your hair in curlers and all. And he's like, finally, you look decent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to lighten that mood a little bit. This is a beautiful story, man.
Oh my God.
Kind of reminds me of the other one, when the guy said, do you like pina colada? Oh, yeah, that guy? Yeah, it's great. Because he's like, Rupert Holmes. He's like, it's my old lovely lady.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, that song is called Skate. People call it the Pina Colada song, but it's like, Skate.
We know what you meant, Rupert. I believe he's dead, I think.
Yeah, I think he's dead now. But
Rupert, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
hey,
oh man, I just caught that one.
That's our Catholic friends, Rupert. Like your mental somewhere.
Yeah, so don't do that. Don't do that. That's
sorry, man. Oh, that's my too. I'm not Elon, baby. No.
Oh my God. Oh wow, this is going a real direct. It's going real bit rowdy. It was what, and I think we need. So yes, so help me. There was one more that I wanted. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do this for my wife. She loves when I do this, and so I have to do this for her.
Amen.
Leonard Skinner, Give Me 3 Steps.
I don't know that.
You don't know that one?
No, I just know like Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird.
Oh no, Give Me 3 Steps. I was down at a place called The Jug. I was cutting a rug at the place called The Jug with a girl named Linda Lou. When in walked a man with a gun in his hand. He was looking for you-know-who. He said, hey there, fella with the hair colored yellow. What you trying to prove? That's my woman there, and I'm a man who cares, and this might be all for you. I said, excuse me. You never heard that?
I think I have heard it. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, okay. I've heard of it. It's high attention.
But that's a true story. Every time that song, and when I say that, my wife loves this, she hates it because every time you hear that, I hear the song and she's with me, I always say, hey, it's based on a true story. That was actually a true story. Yeah. And it really was. Ronnie Vanzant, this was back before they got discovered. There's a place in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was called a Little Brown Jug. And they were playing there. And Ronnie Vanzant was 17, I think. So,
kid.
Yeah, he literally was. And so they did their first set. And I don't know if any of you know how a bar band plays. You got the first set, and then they'll play some music, while the band kind of, gets a break and bathroom break and all this. And then they'll play a second set, and then there's a break, and then they'll wind it up. So I'm told. I don't know. But anyway, but they played that first set, and then they're going on break. So there's music playing and all that. So anyway, there was a lady there, and Ronnie, he asked her to dance, and so they were dancing, and well, her boyfriend shows up. He wasn't in there. He just comes in and sees them. He goes back out to his truck, gets his pistol.
Oh, wow.
And he comes in and he points that pistol at Ronnie Vanzant. And the whole thing, Ronnie's like, hey, he's like, it's my girlfriend and all this. And he's like, look, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't even kiss her, man. Just like, I didn't touch her, dude. Yeah. He's like, we're just dancing. And, of course she's trying to, give in, and so he's yelling at her, and all this. And he says, look, I know you don't know me, but, could you do me a favor? Could you just give me 3 steps before you pull the trigger? He literally said that. And, he took off, and when he didn't come back to play the second set.
I wouldn't have either. He was trying to shoot in the face, man.
He was gone. And of course, the band, the rest of the band, they were out, out back smoking or whatever. They didn't know. All they knew, they saw Ronnie come out the back door and full run bolting,
Hard to run those high stack boots from those bell bottoms back then, man.
Keep going. Yeah.
I got a true story that I just read about the other day. It's happened a couple of years ago. And I think kind of appropriate for this, because I've been waiting for a time to share, and it kind of goes with it. It's about a guy doing a musical set on a cruise ship. Okay. Now, get a little more detailed. He wasn't really in a band or anything. It was his first night on the cruise, and it was an air guitar contest. Well, close enough. He was already drunk.
Okay.
So he wins the air guitar contest, gets a trophy, goes outside, stumbling around, having a great time, and falls overboard.
Oh.
Now, it gets better. Okay? He treads water for 18 hours. Yeah. And he said he saw a fin coming at him at one point, and he's like, oh, no, it's a shark. So he goes underwater to try to see what it is, and he can't really tell, just sees this thing coming at him. So as best as he can, he's kicking and punching. And then he gets rescued, a little bit later. So this dude won an air guitar contest, treaded water for 18 hours, and beat up a shark. That's a good one. He was not a famous musician, but I think that's a goat.
Oh my God. Hey, how did the ship not know he fell overboard?
You know, people fall overboard on those things.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're not going to turn around for you.
Yeah. Well,
Especially in that way.
Yeah. Do you know who Chet Atkins is?
Yeah.
Chet Atkins, for those of you who don't know, Chet Atkins is a
virtuoso, man.
Yeah, a guitarist, and like the best, if not one of the best, the best guitarists to ever play. And
most of even the big white guys, Eddie Van Halen, all those guys, yes. So I would say Chet was it. He was the number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a friend of Chet Atkins, he was on a cruise ship. He was playing on a cruise ship. Chet and his wife were on that ship.
Yeah.
And so his buddy saw him, and he said, "Man, you got to play tonight. You got to play with me tonight." And Chet said, "Listen, I'm just here to vacation." He said, "Listen, I won't mention your name. I'll just say you're a friend of mine, and I'll call you up and just play a couple songs, and just that'll be it." He said, "All right, we can do that." And so when they played it, he called Chet up, said, "It's my old friend, come on." And Chet came up and he played 2 or 3 songs, and then that was it. Well, the next day they're sitting out on deck, him and his wife, and they're playing cards, and this guy comes up, and he said, "Oh, hey, you were playing last night. You played a few songs." And Chet said, "Yeah," and he's expecting the I want an autograph or whatever kind of thing, you know. And the guy said, "You're really good." And he said, he said, "Now listen, you ain't no Chet Atkins." Did he really? But you're really good. And the Chet Atkins goes, "Oh," he said, "Study Chet Atkins. You know who he is?" And he said, "Yeah, I've heard of him." He said, "Look him up, study him." He said, you can be as good as him one day." He's like, "I'll try to do that."
He's probably thinking to himself, I must have sucked last night. Wow.
Yeah. Kind of like Charlie Chaplin, looking like contest. Charlie Chaplin come in third. Yeah.
Ready to blow off some steam, y'all. It's been a tough, hot summer. It's coming to an end, hopefully. Been some cool weather here lately, but lots of rain. It's been monsooning, part of that South Carolina weather.
Yeah. Our grass is this high because it won't stay dry long enough to cut.
Well, this is a gross thing. We have a septic tank, and man, water was just coming back into the house. Not bad stuff, but water.
Yeah.
And I called the guy up and said, "Hey, man, because this has something to do with it," because that's what Google says. And he said, "Dude, absolutely. People are having issues right now because the ground doesn't have enough time to soak up the water because it's coming in the drain beds. That's how our weather is." So we went from, what was it, like scorching heat and humidity to cooler weather to monsoon season. But here we are.
Yeah.
Now, what you had a great idea. Hopefully, I think next week we'll be talking about the Jesus movement.
Yeah.
Of the 70s. And the movie Jesus, was it Jesus Revolution? Have you got to watch it yet?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Wasn't a fan. If I'm being honest.
I hope you're lying to me.
No.
We'll talk off air. But
I mean, the story and everything, I'm a huge fan of
what you're not a fan of?
the story plotted along it was way too slow.
Oh yeah.
And I think they were packing in
Way too much.
Absolutely. You can't novelize a movie. Yeah. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And it plotted along, and it was just so that become, I hate movies like that. I hate a 2-hour movie that you can do, in 90 minutes. You got 30 minutes of stuff that really doesn't, maybe it explains why Bob said this to Susan, but in the grand scheme of things, the overall story, explaining why Bob said this to Susan had nothing to do with the overall storyline. So anyway,
Did it have some high points?
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm a fan of Greg Laurie. And so I know his story. So it was interesting to see how Greg Laurie portrayed his younger days.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
We can get into the details of it next week, because I'd like to cover, the movie part and the actual movement itself and dive into that a little more.
Yeah,
because he was trying to take a whole lot and pack it in. I will say that.
Yeah, because you're trying to do Greg Laurie's backstory.
Yeah,
Lonnie and Chuck's. Yeah, then on top of it, you got 3 biographies right there. You're trying to cram together, and then you got the Jesus movement.
It's for itself. Yeah,
and it's not a background. You're not using the Jesus movement as a background. It's a character in and of itself in the movie.
Yeah,
and it's just too much to try to.
But aren't you glad there's movies like that out there?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hey, okay. I will say most Christian movies that are produced suck. They do. They was, I think, a game changer as far as quality, at least.
Yeah.
Adding. But anyway, we'll get into that. But a great precursor to that is what you had an idea to talk about tonight, because that was in the late 60s, early mid 70s. Back then, when we're talking about young people, who were just disgruntled and drug addiction, man, and all this crazy stuff. And we can cover Gen X. We can cover a lot of things. But today, we're going to talk about Gen Z.
Yeah.
And this is something that was on your heart. And I think, how great to do it, because to me, there's one common thread. Wild differences between these two. Because people back then were looking for community. That's why they lived in communes and all this stuff. Today, it's completely different. But I'm looking at Jesus as the one who pulls us all together. He's who we need ultimately, no matter how the culture shifts and changes. But let's dive into Gen Z. What's on your heart and your mind about them? Because I'm going to look at some stuff too. But what do you think?
Well, they are looking for a community. They just don't realize it.
You think so?
And I think that's the common thread between them and, the hippies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is in the late 60s, early 70s. Well, the hippies, they realized they're looking for something to belong to.
Right. Yeah.
And
be a part of.
To be a part of. And, it was it's the, they hooked onto, love and, free love and acceptance and, even, self-discovery through psychedelic drugs, but it was, they were searching for something.
Yeah. Sure.
And I think Gen Z is, the same way. They are looking for something. But they were not, unlike the hippies, they're not understanding that it is community that they're looking for.
And when we say Gen Z, I'm trying to look it up, but it's the year of what? Like born between, 1997, I think it is, and 2012, right around there. Late 90s, early mid 2000s.
No, they pick up right after Gen X.
Okay.
Or is it no? There's Gen Y and then Gen Z.
Yeah, you're right. Gen Y gets long. Yeah, ever talk about them?
Yeah,
they're the hipsters.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of with Gen Y, about the only thing Gen Y brought to the table is the pants down on the butt.
Gen Y, we might dedicate a show just one day. We don't know.
The only contribution they made was probably guess the butt crack race, sad and so.
Well, when we talk about Gen Z, my daughter falls into that. All my kids fall into that. Mm-hmm. Really, I guess all yours do too, or at least most. Yeah. So when we think about this generation, man, it does depend on how you raise them and stuff. But I want to jump in and say some quick stuff, if I may, and then I'll turn it over to you for statistics and things.
Yeah.
But I've got a pet peeve. I got a couple of pet peeves, and I may have mentioned them on the show before. If I haven't, I will, and I'll mention them again.
Okay.
When I preach, I mention these.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening, you know who you are. And there's a bunch of y'all. Ain't one or two, it's a bunch of y'all. I understand people get busy and they can't text back immediately. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
I do it, you do it, I get it. But when I text you and you don't text me back for days or not at all, and then I finally seen you go, oh, yeah, man, I got your text.
Mm-hmm.
I have discovered there are some people in my age bracket that do that. But man, in the Gen Z bracket, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You probably, were you texting somebody in Gen Z? Well, here's why. Because a lot of them, but it's usually the younger ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. It's the younger ones, not the older ones that barely got in Gen Z.
Yeah.
But the younger ones on the tail end of it, man, it's like, it's almost like if I'm talking to you and I see you in Walmart and I say, hey, what's up? And you just stare at me and then you just turn and walk off.
Yeah.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
And I want to tell them, do y'all realize that's rude?
Yeah.
And they would respond, that's just how I am. I get it. And the other pet peeve I've got, by the way, so it ain't just texting. It's also people with shopping carts. Now, to get one from like one store and then you see them just moving down the road. And I'm like, you know what, man? I wish that was a felony. Do it a couple of times and you won't steal shopping carts anymore. I don't know why. It's a weird thing. Anyway, I think, and I was wondering, like, why do these guys do it? When you brought this up to me today and text a little bit, I started thinking, it's almost like they're afraid of interaction. They're afraid, or they don't know how to interact.
Don't know how.
So, where do we go with that? So I'm going to turn it over to you because you seem to have pinpointed some of this stuff, and it's starting to come to my mind now. But yeah, that's just one simple thing. And here's the thing. When you text somebody, the weird thing about texting is, and we have to be careful with it, we can't get emotion across.
Right.
So easy to misinterpret what the person means when they text you.
Yeah.
So to me,
yeah,
it is. Yeah. And I've had people.
I've been the victim of that.
Yeah. I've had people be like, oh, you mad? I'm busy or I'm half asleep or whatever. But I'll think the same thing too. Like, if you're being short in a text or something, I guess our minds go there. But I think Gen Z takes it to a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
And they just won't text you back.
Mm-hmm.
But they also don't want to talk in person.
Yeah,
So that was weird. It's like,
this happened. This happened probably 2 weeks ago. My wife received a text from a person. All right, immediately received a text from them. Immediately called them because they had asked the question and it was too much to text back. So I'm going to call you and just tell you. Immediately called them, and they never answered. Like, you you got that phone still in your hand.
that happens to me. Yeah, and I hate it.
You know, it's just like, and Gen Z would rather communicate through text than verbally.
Well, actually, I'll take it a step further. My son, and Alex, will not text you back. I don't care. Man, I just cut my leg off with a chainsaw. Better text somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll ask him. His mom will ask him. His sisters. Man, did you get my text? Yeah. Why didn't you text back? When we said, he's like, I just don't like the text. That's what he responds with.
Yeah.
We get a flip phone. Get a pigeon. Right? But then this is what he says. If you really get a hold of me, you need to Snapchat. But it's the same. It's like, it's just with a picture, but I respond to Snapchat.
Yeah, but you said you text and Snapchat too.
Mind blown.
Well,
So what do you think it is? It's a nuance? It's just a weird leaning, or is there something deeper there?
there's something deeper. There's something spiritual, really, with this. And there's a Cigna did a survey in 2021. I'm not sure what month it was, but anyway, Cigna did a survey for Gen Z and asked what was the it was Cigna's health, and so it was health related. What is the top three? Respond with the top three health related issues that you face personally. So this is all Gen Z, people that answered, and the number one answer that came back 79%.
Wow.
It was all related health, mental health related.
Yes.
But but the number one, 79%, the number one issue that Gen Z says that they face is a feeling of loneliness.
Wow.
In a world in which you're connected more than ever before, you're lonely. Number two, and I forget the percentage on it. It was in the 70s as well, but 79% said loneliness, and then 70-something% said isolation.
Wow, isolation. Okay.
And that's big, very big. And
They go together.
yeah, they go
In the
together.
end.
Yeah, because you can have isolation and it'd be a good thing. And isolation, and the good thing is solitude. Sometimes you need.
Yeah, I like to have my alone time.
Jesus did it a lot in Scripture. Where he sought solitude, so there. But there's a difference in solitude and isolation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because isolation is that's unwanted. Yeah,
Right.
something causes you to be isolated. But whereas solitude is you seek to separate yourself.
Yeah.
For your mental health, and but
Have it on recharge.
yeah, but it's with the intent of being temporary, whereas isolation is something that can be long term.
Yeah.
If you cannot find a solution to get you out of that, and so hand in hand with isolation is loneliness, because look, God said in Genesis, it is not good for man to be alone. Yeah. And we're made for community.
Yeah.
Scripture tells us that iron sharpens iron, and that's we edify each other, we build each other up, we build confidence in each other, and we affirm and we give advice, things like that. That's that community that you have. Your best, or at least let me say it for me, my best decisions that I've ever made that I do not regret and would do again. My best decisions were always the ones in which I asked advice of those around me.
Bingo. We were walking in the scripture tells us in the wise counsel.
Yeah.
And it also says not to walk in the counsel of the ungodly, but the bottom line is you have people speaking into your life.
Yes.
And I will say these Gen Z folks, they do have people speaking into their life, but it's off of social media and it's off of influencers and stuff like that. It may not be face to face.
Yeah.
So, but I have a statistic for you too, and it goes right in line with what you said. And this is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
This is a magazine or something. And if you Google it, by the way, put in Gen Z loneliness and tons and tons and tons of stuff. This is not isolated. It's just all over the place. And until you brought it to my attention, I didn't know how rampant it was, right?
Yeah.
And this one just says that they did a survey amongst 1,821 Gen Zers around the world. It's not just one place, not America, but all over the place, different cultures, right? It shows that this generation experiences loneliness more than any other. 8 in 10 Gen Z respondents in this survey, 80%, right, agree they felt lonely in the past 12 months. Only 45% of baby boomers reported that. So that that's nuts. This is not just a guess. This is real. That's what these folks are dealing with every day. So I guess where do we go with that though? Well, I guess we got to get to the root cause.
Yeah.
And then what is the potential solution?
Yeah. Yeah. The dichotomy to this is that
Big word.
Oh yeah, it's I get $1 for that. But the dichotomy to this is you are in you're in a society that is so connected now more than ever.
Yeah, sure.
I have a daughter that lives in Virginia, and my granddaughter, Renata, hey Bree, and my little super girl, my daughter's daughter, my granddaughter, she is just like her mom. It looks just like her mom. It takes me back, but hey, Evelyn, love you, baby girl. But and I can video conference call. I can, them every day. We may not be there, present, but yeah, virtually we are. I can, and she'll call me up. Evelyn will tell her mom and say, call Pops. I want to show Pops this, whatever. And, she'll call me and, hey, everyone wants to show you this, and, whatever. And, before, like when we were growing up, the only way you communicate, you wrote a letter.
Oh yeah.
With actual pen and paper, and you put it in an envelope with a stamp, and you mailed it, and they get it 3 days, 4 days later,
Or you call them an old dial-up.
Yeah.
And you have to do it at night and on the weekend when you get the cheaper rate. Right, yeah, as long as this part of the line. I'll take you one even deeper than that, because I was reading this the other day. They're rebooting Little House on the Prairie. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Oh, it'll be great. My wife will love that.
They want to make it a little bit truer to the books that Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote and all that. And I grew up on Little House on the Prairie. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
But think about 130 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Like if you live on the East Coast, let's just say New York or something. Hey, family, we're going to chart a new journey, and we're going to go out west. We're probably never going to see you again.
Yeah.
You think about that. They write a letter. Now, we talk about writing letters and stamps in a few days. You got it. Back then, 1 or 2 a year, may not make it, weeks. And how many times did you hear people say, I never saw Pa again and stuff like that?
Yeah, Pony Express, sometimes they get, the horse's leg breaks and they tumble and they bust her head and
that's a wrap. That's where they get hijacked. But here's the weird thing. From then through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, I say the 80s and 90s, community was stronger and it was central, super important. Now, how can we be the most connected we've ever been in history
and be
lonely?
And being like, it's separate. So I said it's spiritual. And I'm going to take you, this is done intentionally. Okay. It's social media. And look, I'm not the old get off my lawn old man. Is, cause we're doing social media now. We both have hoses. Get here. But social media is the tool that has isolated, not just Gen Z, but it starts with Gen Z and it's going, but the thing that happens is, Scripture describes Satan as a roaring lion, roaming around, seeking about whom he may devour. Okay. Now, if you know anything, we talked about this Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
If Delroy could pop a clip or something, then the
Sure,
thing,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. I told you this.
Yeah, you talk about brutality. It's like,
Hey, little 6-year-old innocent kid, watch that. That zebra's getting torn to pieces. He's gonna eat him while he's still breathing. And it's like, I'm scarred.
And
Why is smoking a cigarette? See that?
Yeah. What was the old man's name? Larvin. Anyway,
I got him. I got white hair.
Yeah. But he, in a very calm voice, he's just, and the lion, he's taking down the zebra. He's ripping his hind legs off. He's watching this. Yeah.
What is it? I gotta find his name now.
I know one name, and I cannot.
Marlon Perkins. Marlon Perkins. It was vicious, but the truth behind it is I think I messed me up. Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think the truth behind it is really sad, man, compared to what we saw. What was it?
The truth through.
Well, behind, like I said, we saw Wild Kingdom, the lion gets the.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was stuck on Maurice Jennifer. Wild America. I hated hearing him because he had he talked through his nose,
His very knees only like
yeah, he was like,
I ain't picking on it was wild, it was
Erica,
he threw it off of Wild Kingdom.
Yeah, he was like, enjoying our wild America with Morty Stilfer. Golly, it's like, if you find a clip of that with him. Anyway, what we learned though in those shows, in those shows is that we saw that a lion, let's use a lion because of the saying, like a lion. Yeah. Okay. They don't attack a herd. They don't attack a bunch of wildebeests, but if they can isolate one wildebeest, yeah, or a zebra or a yak,
Easily yak.
I always like them in yak,
Or a gazelle.
Yeah.
Skinny deer.
Impala.
I don't know. I always wanted one when I saw Ice Cube when I was a kid. I wanted an Impala.
I meant the real,
Same difference.
and you see these lions draw like you see these lions taking down an automobile, and that's it. But but if they can get an animal and isolate it from the herd, then they'll devour it.
Yeah.
Describes Satan, says that he is like a roaring lion,
Yeah.
going back to and fro, seeking about whom he may devour. Whom he may devour means he's looking for a specific victim.
Yep.
And that victim is not part of a community. That victim's going to be by themselves, off on the side. That's the one that's going to go after.
And we've been there.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of you have been there. And I will tell you, it's a lonely place, man.
But, anyway, if he can isolate you. So what tool does Satan use now to isolate is social media.
Now, time out. You said it earlier. We got to be sure we say this. We're using social media.
Yeah.
We are not demonizing it. We don't, if there's any Gen Z who's listening or watching, and there might not be because we're kind of old fella, but if you are, welcome. But if you're out there and you have family, like kids, grandkids, and you're listening, don't demonize social media. What my friend Clint is going to do is, I hope, and I think you'll do good at this, is to show us how we can use this and let it be redeemed for God's glory. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So please don't demonize the tool, but just understand how it's being misused by the enemy.
Yeah.
So as one writer guest, I love it. I love social media.
Yeah. Satan is a perverter, and he takes anything God creates, he takes and he perverts it. He takes the truth,
Twist it.
and he perverts it.
All because he can't be God.
Yeah.
So he wants to be like God. Since he can't create, he just perverts and twists.
Correct. Yeah. This is after dark, so we can say it. Sex. He perverted sex. A gift from God, and Satan perverts it. So everything that is good and comes from God, Satan perverts. And the same thing can be said of social media. And he can take it, twist it, and use it. So yes, don't blame the tool. It's sort of like the don't blame the gun, blame the.
I knew you were going to say it. I was like, yeah, gun never killed nobody.
Yeah, it's the hand that it was in. So, but the same way with social media. But I know too many people, and I know of a particular person in my family. It is a Gen Z, and that person cannot carry on a conversation with another human being. Is constantly got an electronic device in their hand.
Yeah.
And cannot socially, and has no social skills, cannot socially interact with people, because they're so into the social media,
Oh, yeah.
and you can be very popular in social media, but have no friends.
I know of one young man that, because I student ministry for years, like you did, I recently came out of that, a year and a half ago. And, I knew of a young man that some of the ladies, or the girls, were talking to me and my wife about, and I'm trying to be as vague as possible. I always do that when I'm talking true stories. And they were like, look, and this guy in there, and they're like, what you see is not what he is. What do you mean? Well, not a bad guy, by the way, not a bad kid. It was just when he's Snapchatting us or Instagram or whatever method he was using, he's like, you said super popular, cool, Rico Suave, that's a throwback, stuff like that. But then when he's in person, it's like,
Yeah.
well, there to do it. I talked to him. I said, hey, man, you're pretty smooth behind the screen. Why can't you, do that right here? Because it's honestly was just like confusing them. And his exact words were, I don't know how to talk to people. It's like, yeah, you do. Well, that's different.
It's different here.
But, for me, being that different generation, I'm like, I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So you help us with that. Like, how can you have so much confidence on this side of the screen, and then when it's important? Because here's the thing. We live in a real world unless people can work remote, which a lot of them can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
You know that. Well, you're in computers.
Yeah. I work remote. Yeah.
But not all you still have to interact with people face to face.
Yeah. Yeah. I still go into the office, and the whole reason I go into the office is so that I can interact with my guys. And it really, there's sometimes I go in, and we support multiple locations. And sometimes I go in and my guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one in the office. I'm like, whole reason I come in, everybody's out. So, but anyway.
Well, I was just going to say that there's going to come a time that no matter how remote people want it to be and they're confident in that, there's going to come a time you're going to have to see somebody face to face.
Yes.
And it's just one of those, I don't know.
All right. So, Wingate College, like I told you I'd remember, Wingate College is a college, a college of scholars here near in Charlotte, North Carolina area, which is very close to where we're at. That way. Yeah, it's that way. So they when they have freshmen come in, and I promise you we'll actually get to the answers. But they have freshmen that come in, they have a questionnaire for freshmen when they come in, because they want to, not that class, but the next class behind them, they want to be able to gear freshman classes to what they need, what areas do they, need more attention or more focused on. So they ask, what are the things that, that you lack in, that you need. And it was for 4 years running, and it started in 2021, 2022, 23, 24. Okay. I don't know about 25. So for 4 years running, now I assume it's going to be 5. The number one thing that they say that they need help on the most is not reading comprehension. It's not math skills or how to use a debit card or anything like that. The number one thing is how to communicate with people.
Oh, wow.
And they mean interpersonal skills.
Yeah.
Because they realize now that they're in college, they realize now that I got to go interview to get a job. I can't be Rico Suave, but I can't Snapchat an interview. And they are sorely lacking those interpersonal skills because they don't do it. They haven't done it. And there's been a lot of I've seen it a lot. My daughters growing up would do this, and it bugged me. But they could be sitting beside each other, just like Joel. I know what he's going to say, and they will text each other. Hey, I'm gonna go in the kitchen and get something to drink. You want something? And then text back, bring me back a tea, whatever. But they're sitting there literally next to each other and they're texting each other. You're right there. Put the phone down. It used to drive me nuts over that, but that was fine because you're lacking interpersonal skills.
Now, sometimes, and if you ever see this happen, this is going to really, I guess I'm showing my hand here, okay? But sometimes it's appropriate to do that.
Yeah.
For instance, we'll be in a group, and my wife's right there, and I'll get a text, and instead of reading it, I go, "Why are you texting me?" And she's like,
Yep.
Yeah, that's a funny.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're so, yeah.
But I was going to say, I've seen people do that constantly, and they'll sit there and text and look at each other. And like, I know you're texting. I'll call people out. Hey, that's rude, man. But the thing about it is like when you finally, if you say, I'm going to avoid face-to-face interviews, if you can do it, fine. I'm going to avoid this. But if you ever have a relationship with the opposite sex, right?
Can you do that?
Well, that's what I'm like. You're going to sit there and just text each other?
Yeah.
Are you going to talk? Or sooner or later, you got to interact. And man, if you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I heard a comedian. I don't know. I can't remember who it is. Well, I'd give him credit, but he said that he's thankful that his daughter has a pretty forehead because that's the only thing. They're always down on their volume. So anyway, getting back to it. So Satan, who is a roaring lion, and I'd love to, you got Delroy, I see the time. I would love to dive into the roaring part. That's big.
Well, maybe when we talk about the character of Satan.
Yeah, that'd be good. But it's a roaring lion roaming about, seeking whom he may devour, and it's who he can separate, who he can So you have an entire generation that feels lonely and feels isolated.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, because when you're lonely and isolated, that's when you're the most vulnerable for the enemy. And we have an entire generation, just like with the hippie movement, we have an entire generation of people that are looking for community. The only difference between the Gen Z and the hippie is the hippies knew they were looking for community. Gen Z doesn't, because Gen Z says, I know all these people, and I got all these followers,
Yeah. I got 1,000 friends.
Yeah. No, no, you don't. You don't. It's all digital. It's all, and so it's not interpersonal. But and we were created to be in community. It's not good for us to be alone. And so what you have though is you have the roaring lion using social media to isolate, and then he can attack, and his method of devour is to isolate, to get you lonely, and then the final nail is hopelessness.
Yeah.
The
Hopelessness.
it's where
Can I jump in and say one thing?
yeah.
Because this is fresh in my mind from something I did earlier today with someone, and it's fresh in my mind that I think a lot of, not just Gen Zers, people in general, but especially since we're talking about Gen Zers, it's a way to isolate themselves, is almost like an escapism and a protection, and they don't have to deal with real life pain or encounters or things that could lead to some pain or uncomfortability or whatever the word may be, or whatever the situation is. I think a lot of times it's their way of shielding and protecting themselves from pain, but that's the lie of the enemy.
Right. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
That's the enticement
That's the trap, because you don't know, you're just feeding right into the trap. And just like all sin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do this, you're going to be protected. You do this, you'll be fulfilled. And in fact, it's a trap. By the time you figure it out, you said you'd be hopeless.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are doing it for that purpose, I think.
Yeah. To avoid the pain of
being hurt.
Yeah.
Of any interaction.
And the enemy says, isolate yourself,
Right. And you have control. If you just don't want a messenger back, you don't have to.
Yeah. And you're right. It's a trap, because once you're isolated, and we talked about this before, there's a difference between solitude and isolation.
Yeah.
Solitude, Jesus did, there's moments for your mental health, where you got to, you got to step away, but you're not alone. First of all, because Jesus says, I will never leave you or forsake you. So you're with Jesus.
He's right there.
So you're never alone. But there are times when you got to just be in solitude and be just alone with Christ.
That's good.
And listen to him, because God communicates, and Scripture says this, I think in 1 Kings, that a still small voice, God speaks in a still, which is a whisper. Okay. And sometimes you need to isolate. Not isolate. You need to seek solitude, brother, so that you drown out all the noise, and you can hear the whisper.
Well, it's kind of like this. I've said times when I went on like a little bit of a sabbatical, which I'm long overdue for one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I never say I'm going to go spend some time alone. Now, if I'm at home, I say I'm going to have some me time. I'm going to get up early, stay up late, play a game, unwinding.
Yeah.
And that's a completely different thing. We're talking a couple hours at most, that kind of stuff. I'm going to walk outside, smoke my pipe, whatever, have a cup of coffee. But on a sabbatical type of a thing, I never say, and I'm sure you don't either, I'm going to go be alone. I say, I'm going to go spend time with my Father.
Yeah.
I'm going to go just spend time with the Holy Spirit and that kind of thing. And I will say this, there's probably some people saying now, I might isolate myself, but it's for protection, or it's for my mental health, or hey, I'm in control. Well, here's the thing. If it was good, you wouldn't feel alone.
That's exactly right.
You would never feel the spirit of loneliness, because when we do a solitude type of a deal with the Lord, don't feel alone. We come back refreshed.
Yes.
We come back like, man, I've been talking to God. I've been worshiping. I've been studying. I've just been with him.
And what do you want to do? You want to re-engage.
Oh, man, you're ready to go tell everybody, let me show you what I found and saw on the mountain.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
He's musical. We got an album, baby.
Oh, yeah.
But really, if you think about it, I look at this thing and go, if he was all it was cracked up to be, you'd never get lonely.
Right.
And here we are.
And here we are.
100% a trap from the enemy. So we discovered that's what that is. It's a trick and a trap.
Yeah, and you cannot get out of it on your own. You can get into it on your own, but you can't get out. So when you get into isolation, that really then, you are then set up, perfectly set up for the enemy to then come and push the hopelessness.
So you keep talking. I'm going to try to find something to share with you.
But so Jesus talked about, he did a parable about 100, there was 100 sheep. There was a shepherd and he had 100 sheep. And the shepherd in the story, the shepherd left, there was only 99 sheep. One was separated. So it was somewhere. He got to go find. He left the 99. He left the 99 sheep unprotected and went after the one. Now, the sheep were not, the 99 were not unprotected. It's that, that's certainly an appearance of, but they had each other. And, so the enemy, the roaring lion, will not attack a herd. Like I said, it goes after the one, the isolated one, the one away from.
Yeah.
And they will try their best to, like a pack of, a pack of lions, will try their best to, they'll chase the herd and the herd's moving. Well, they're trying to corral one of them, kind of peel one of them off. Yeah. And, the rest of the herd will actually attack to prevent that from happening. So anyway, so Jesus leaves the 99. He's talking about this parable of the shepherd, rather. That this shepherd leaves the 99 sheep and hunts down the one sheep that's isolated and picks that one sheep up and carries it back to the herd. And
Very interesting.
And the now there's the old saying that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Matter of fact, there's that was a famous line in Star Trek, is one of the Star Trek movies, but the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So our logic would be, you stay with the 99. You just lost one of them. Okay.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. You got your 99 still, you want to protect your 99. But God, God's logic is not ours. His thinking is much higher than ours. He goes after the one. The reason why is because the enemy will devour that one sheep, and he can save that one. The enemy will not go after the community.
You hear that? Bad preach. Say it again.
The enemy will not go after the community. That goes after the isolated.
Johnny Hunt said this before, and he talked about it. Look up videos, you can YouTube it, all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
About a cast sheep, C-A-S-T-E, cast sheep. I've talked about that.
Yep.
And he was saying that when a sheep gets itself turned on its side or on its back, or gets in a crate, whatever. You ever see how sheep's built? like a funny looking thing, barrel with legs. Yeah, or entire legs, barrel. And their legs, like the blood flow gets cut off, and they can't move. They have no defense mechanism, right? And you said it yourself. You can get yourself into the isolation, but you can't get yourself out.
That's a perfect example.
So they give themselves into trouble, but they get to a point where they can't get back. They may want to, they may desire, but they physically, emotionally, mentally cannot. They're crippled in that moment.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't go after them, and I watched the video on it, man, and the sheep's pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
His hollered and carrying, and it cannot get up on his feet. It just falls over because there's no blood. You know how it is, and your legs fall asleep. The shepherd
has to carry it.
Caringly, he will carry him. He'll massage their legs to get the blood flow going again. Like he He just takes care of them and mends them and gets them back where they need to be while he's carrying them to the flock, to the protection. And that's the thing, is he gets them back to I think you said the community first, because there's the protection.
Yep.
Because the lion will attack the community. Right. And there he cares for him and he restores him back to health. But this person posted this, and this is local. This is not far off. And it's just like a little, I don't know, little saying she found post. Person found this. They were hooking you up. You will not impact the world by faithfully going to church. You will impact the world by faithfully being the church when you go out into the world. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Now, let me say it again. You won't impact the world by faithfully going to a building. That's what the person's saying. But you will impact the world by faithfully being the church that God's called you to be when you're in the world. I know what that person's saying.
Yeah.
But here come my religious elites. You ready?
I was, yeah.
You ready for it?
I was.
True, but you won't be part of the church if you don't assemble with a local church. What about the universal church? Anyway, and then another one pops on, Hebrews 10:25. Don't forsake the assembly of the brethren.
Yeah.
Some people are always sitting on go, just looking for something to pounce on. And I'm like, that ain't even what this person's talking about, man. Well, it's the challenge of don't just sit and stew, it's go, right? But I will say this, well, that can get misunderstood. And for some people would say, well, I don't go to church for this reason. We're not saying be a part of a church. Right. We're saying be a part of a community of believers.
Yes.
Now, whether they assemble at a local church building or in a home, you and I are assembling right now.
Yeah. The church is not a building. The church is the people.
We're not saying it's bad. Please.
No.
All that.
Yeah.
But I will say this much. How many times have I asked you recently, man, pray for me?
Yeah.
And said, I'm going through some stuff. Have you done that with me?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about. I'm not alone. When I feel attacked by the enemies trying to single me out, I got somebody I can go to. Now, whether that's believers who are just friends you get together at a coffee shop or a living room or in a church. But too many people think like this. Well, you're not really a Christian if you're not going to a local church.
Yeah.
What good is that going to do you? Right?
Right.
So I think that's what some Gen Zers would think is we're saying go to a church that'll make all your problems better. We're saying go to find that group of believers who genuinely love God and love you for who you are. No prejudgment, no pre-qualifications.
In whatever form that is.
In whatever form. Because when he brings that sheep back to the herd, man, I let my biblical imagination go crazy. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm going to shut up and let you take it. Can you imagine the other sheep going,
oh,
he stinks. Where's he been?
Yeah.
Who's he been with? Was that blood? Hey, he can't even stand up on his own 2 feet.
Yeah.
I ain't helping him. He got himself in that mess.
Yeah. That one right there.
If you stop and think about it, if that was what I was going to encounter after I come back beat up, messed up, can't talk to people, can't interact because I just don't have those skills yet, right? Because I've been isolated. I don't want to be with those people who don't put me on the spot or make me feel awkward or weird. So that's why I'm really big, and you are too, on saying you better find that healthy group of people in whatever shape or form that looks like who love Jesus.
Yeah. So, they're the ones who can't, when you fall in that pit of isolation, they're the ones with the hands reaching down, pulling you out.
There were people at the last place that I served at, big church, all that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I bet, I've never even asked you this, but I bet you I can read your mind like a psychic. Probably the same thing happened with you. There are things that you know about me and my struggles that a lot of those folks never even heard, never knew. And I wouldn't dare trust them with it.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, I was at the building. We had the hymnals. We did all that. Well, was it a protective group of believers? Some, yeah, but I'm not sure. So you got to find that place where you fit in and you belong and they accept you and they love you.
Yeah, there are certain people that will say, hey, you're in a position of authority, so you can't you can't be vulnerable. You can't show weakness.
We know that, don't we?
Yeah. Sorry,
but I don't think you got to be here. They got to be all that crap.
But I was you're talking about the Facebook post, and just
I'm put a Rebus jersey.
be the church. you can, not just go to church, but be to church.
Yeah.
This post is, I call the 2/3 rule.
Okay.
And you will like this. You will like this. But I call it the 2/3 rule. Okay. So here it goes. Take 2/3 of the name Satan. What does it say?
You know, I suck at math, man. Sat.
Mm-hmm. Take 2/3 of the name God. What does it say?
Go. Wow. Dude, that was really cool, man.
That's the 2/3 rule.
Did you invent that? I would give you credit for it.
Okay. So,
And then I'm going to use it and say I got it from him.
no.
So what are you saying with that?
That it is action. It's talking about this person was talking about being the church in the community, being going,
making
that and naysayer, Bubba Know-It-All right there.
Bubba Know-It-All
Said, you got to be part of the church. It's so if it's, I know he wouldn't really advocate this, but what he is inadvertently advocating is sit your butt down in your pew and you're good.
Yes. I know, like how you said that. Not necessarily intentionally meaning it, but that's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
And the reason I brought that up is because I think that mentality, because that's what a lot of these well-meaning parents and grandparents would say, oh, baby, put down the phone and go to church.
Mm-hmm.
And what, get judged?
Yeah.
Or get talked about or get treated like I'm weird, not if they're weird. There's a lot of things to it. So I think it's just a matter of, you got to find that place. And I'll even give a challenge out to a lot of adults out there. If you are part of a local body, and you're thinking, because I've said this before too, I couldn't invite my Gen Zer there because I know how they're going to get treated. Then you're in the wrong place, man.
Yeah.
You're just in the wrong place. And I don't care if your grandparents are buried in the graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it's either a life house and a hospital for broken people, and used the word hopeless earlier, or it's a place where they can find hope, or it's just a club, and I suck you one at that. They ain't even got a bar. Listen, let's just try to leave their friends. They might have one. But I had to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. Oh, you caught me off guard with that one. Oh, yes.
But it's the truth, man. Say, and I could hear some people saying this too, because we're on this journey ourselves. You and I and some other folks, we're on a journey because we've been on this thing for a long time, actually. And God's bringing us full circle. And I know I'm going on a tangent, so I'll shut up in a second. But if there's some folks out there saying, okay, I get what you're saying, but I don't have that in my community. Maybe it's time to step out and do something about that.
Yeah.
Start something. Go. Don't sit. Go.
It's 8 o'clock now to be popping.
Thank you, buddy. Delroy's in. All right. So, to put this in a consumable, format, I guess Satan is using Gen Z. You got to first of all realize what you are seeking is you're seeking community. And you know that when you go to a college and you say, hey, I need to learn how to communicate with people because I don't know how. And when you can't, you can't get past the feeling of loneliness. And when your number one issue that you say, 79% of you say, isolation, feelings of isolation, and how do you fix that? These are the things that come from the tool of social media. It's not social media's fault. It's the tool that Satan is using to isolate you, just like a lion would isolate a yak. I love the yak. Would isolate the yak from the herd, or the impala. Emerald green hydraulics. Green with hydraulics, And and once you're isolated from the rest of the herd, once you're isolated from your community, then you are vulnerable to be devoured. There's that feeling of hopelessness, and the answer is community. And here's a thing that kind of cuts both ways, is that with Gen Z sees everything in the digital world now.
Yeah.
And so institutions are old-fashioned and obsolete. And so meeting with other people that can build me up, that can protect me, that can pour life into my life, we can't, that setting is obsolete now. We can do that. We can do that, through Snapchat. No, you cannot. And so, institutions aren't becoming obsolete. They, in the minds of the Gen Z, they are. And that's why you see, fewer and fewer and fewer Gen Z attending church now. And we got to meet that need. We got to combat the enemy. And so the enemy's plan is isolation. And so the enemy's plan is, proving to Gen Z that institutions are now obsolete, and okay, fine. That is the attack pattern of the enemy. So we're going to combat that. So maybe we adjust what church looks like now. And it's not, we're not doing it to appease a certain segment of society, but you do have to adjust based on the attacks of the enemy to combat the enemy. And if the enemy is doing this, it's saying institutions are bad and all that, you can't continue a pattern that of worship, a pattern of the church like it was 150 years ago, because the attack is different now.
But like you said, we adjust, and you think about Jesus, because I can hear people now, because I have heard a lot of folks say online church and all that's bad. Come to church if you can. Okay, I go with that, but I also see it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But like leaving the 99 for the one.
Yeah.
He adjusted.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And
Exactly.
Here's the beautiful thing. It took the sheep time, I'm sure, a few days to recuperate. Right.
Yeah.
And become, get integrated back into the fold. This is the awesome thing for Gen Zers, is there are so many. We don't have a tool. I wish we did. We're not there yet. Mm-hmm. But there's so many online tools. You want an online community? Mm-hmm. There's online communities to be involved in. Mm-hmm. Just like you said, as much as the enemy is mounting an attack, the kingdom of God, the ones that really care, they're mounting a counterattack. Right. So there are online communities to be involved with. There's lots of churches that have it. There's online stuff. A quick search, you can find something. And you can find that community in the place, kind of meet them where they are. But it shouldn't stop there if at all possible. You know what I mean?
Right. Meet the enemy on the enemy's battlefield.
Yeah.
You can't fight the enemy if you're on a separate battlefield from the enemy. So you meet the enemy on their battlefield. Yeah, defeat. And we can defeat. We will defeat. Yeah, we have. But you're right, though. It comes to a point where you've got that online community, whatever, that you got to do life together. The wounded are still going to need a hospital.
Telehealth is a great thing, but I need somebody there to check my blood pressure. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'll take my blood, do whatever, give me a shot.
I ain't stitching myself up. Okay. Nurse, doctor.
Ray, okay, put it there. Yeah. Oh, no, too deep.
Yeah, I am not stitching myself. But yeah.
You're right. So the stepping stones, but there is a point.
Yeah.
To get integrated back in, because and I'll put it simple, if something happens and I'm on an online community, and let's just say that most of my online community people are all over the world. That's cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
But what happens when I need somebody and you'll have a moment when you do and nobody's down the road?
Right.
So it's definitely steps in the right direction, but it is a step.
Yes.
And I say, hey, if you don't want to jump up and go be somewhere physically,
Mhm.
we'll take that step, right? And just keep
Exactly.
progressing with it.
Yeah. You can't, you can't continue to counterattack the enemy when the enemy is adapting their attack. Satan is adapting his attack. Yeah. And, when he does, we got to respond in kind.
Going back to what you said in the beginning, that he perverts,
Mhm.
like you just said, he adapted his attack. It clicked in my head. That's probably what you meant, but I'm slow sometimes. All the social media stuff was meant to connect the world together.
Yes.
It was meant to build tighter community,
Yes.
and the enemy used it to isolate people.
Exactly.
Isn't that insane?
Exactly.
So it was meant to bring us closer. He said, "Oh, I can use this."
I can use this. I'll pervert it, and I isolate.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to give the devil his due. Funny saying that is he's wise, and I think sometime in the near future we'll be covering some of that stuff about his character attributes and things. Because you do need to know your enemy.
Yeah.
If you're going to fight him.
Yeah.
But to know that this tool and how they can use this tool, right?
Yeah.
To be redeemed for God's glory, how they can let it be redeemed. So,
All right. So you're done. I'm good. So, Dale, you're going to lead us out with our outro. But you've been listening to After Dark with Jamie and Clint.
oh, he just hit puberty again.
All right.
Hey, when that happens,
The magic of editing.
no, you got to leave that in. Got to leave that in.
All right. All right. You've been listening to After Dark with Jamie and Clint. I'm Clint. He's Jamie.
Still Jamie. That's too much fun tonight. Yeah. There's some water, I promise.
Tell Mama I said, hey.
The proceeding has been a production of Clammy Productions. All rights reserved.